Om Sadashiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Vishwaro Guratmeti Murti Veda Vibhagine Vyomabda Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Tava Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Satiguru Pranatoshmaham Om Shanti 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 Om Namaste. Verse 23. Page 111. All is one. Non-dual one. The knowers of the subtle consider the reality to be subtle. The knowers of the gross consider the reality to be the gross. The knowers of deities with forms consider the deity to be reality, and the knowers of the formless consider the reality to be the formless. So I'm not very sure, don't remember. The formless must refer to consciousness, Brahman, Turiya. But it could mean something else. Let's see how Swamiji interprets these formulas. But the point here is that the knower, the experiencer, somehow becomes obsessed with phenomenal objects of experience and knowledge, that they develop a vasana, and then they somehow project more and more reality to that field of knowledge/experience. So there are infinite of different aspects of the universe which are considered to be real, and that could go to as far as 8 billion realities in this planet, because everybody has their own fixations and fascinations. So what is reality? Reality is that which can complete meaning the mind of the Jivatma under the spell of avidya. So what is reality is that which is going to make me really, really happy and satisfied and complete. So why you say that's real? No, I don't call it reality. I just know that it's the purpose of my life. So unconsciously, people are seeking and search for things without knowing that they are seeking for fullness, for purna. They are seeking for their intrinsic nature as purnatva. So, but they are seeking outside. Why? They project the reality. They project that they're I'm done with sex, drug, and rock and roll. But now I want this and this and that experience, object of experience, and I firmly believe that they will solve my problem. So we go from one level of delusion to another level, and always mistaking the phenomenal world of experience as different aspects of reality. This is my personal reality. That's what I want to gain. And I believe that that is the ultimate gain, because if I get that one, I will be permanently happy and satisfied. So that's what is the sense of reality. But then there are the knowers of the formulas. And the knowers of formulas consider the reality to be the formulas. So let's see what Swam says about the meaning of these formulas in this verse. So there are different philosophers, and they view the atoms as the ultimate reality, which could be the meaning of these formulas. People who sees scientists looking into the subatomic structure of the atoms to find that it's just without form. This is similar to the modern scientific thinking. Some others say that the ultimate truth is the atom. Yeah. So it's pretty much that. So the gross, the atom, the subtle. So I'm not sure. Let me read until the end. Some other, but Atma, which is of the size of Paramanu, is the ultimate truth. The material Paramanu is not the truth, but the Atma Paramanu is the ultimate truth. Digambara Jains hold this view. They take some of the Upanishad statements that contain the expression Atma Anu for the support to their belief, the views. The literal meaning taken by these people is not warranted because the very same Upanishad says that Atma is all-pervading. So Atma cannot be contained in a certain particle, you know, or something like that. So in the Upanishad, the word Anu does not refer to the size of a particle, but to not being available for sensory perception, the formless, colorless. So in the Upanishad, Anu does not refer to the size, but for that which is absolutely not available for the sense perception. Another group of philosophers say that Atma is the truth and it's the size of the body. So there are all kinds of things. Some idols for worship. The net idols are God, the ultimate reality for them. Finite sculpture cannot be the ultimate truth. Another extreme of this is the Buddhist Sunyavadis. They say that the formless emptiness, it's emptiness. Now we are clear. We are talking about the Nirvikalpa Samadhi people who believes that the void or emptiness, nothingness is the ultimate truth. So some people, they believe that that is the formless, the emptiness. So is suggesting Swami Paramarthananda. So he starts this text from the commentaries of Shankaracharya. So we have to take his word because he's an expert. So emptiness is the so-called sunya, is called the ultimate reality. In the chapter 4, which is the one that I'm preparing for my seminar in Portuguese, talks about this, yes. The Buddhist system is started on the chapter 4. So the knowers of time consider time to be reality, and the knowers of direction consider direction. Again, more and more fixations. People get in astronomy, astrology, and tarot reading, and they don't do anything without consult, their systems and directions. And the people, the knowers of all kinds of notions and theories, consider the theories to be reality. And so on, so forth. Astrologers consider time to be important to the extent that for them, even moksha is dependent on time. This is a good inquiry. Is moksha an event in time or not? So moksha is not event in time. Moksha is the true nature of everyone. No, moksha means free and independent of the mithya phenomenal world. And that is the substratum of the Jiva Atma and Jagata, the universe. So the substratum is not dependent. The screen is not dependent on the pictures projected. No? So the water is not dependent on the ocean and the waves. So, what is it? Yeah, moksha. Moksha is not an event in time, because moksha is the cognition of my true nature as the substratum that has always been free and independent from this superimposition or projection. The projection happened within me without touching me. But it touched my mind. Yes, touch your mind. That's why self-knowledge requires this shift of identity from the mind, from the body-mind, to consciousness. And then you can recognize through the mind that there is something about your true nature that is not affected by this world. But it's not that you are completely unaffected. You enjoy a certain immunity or protection, or security or shield, against those events that are very disturbing to normal people, to some scientists. So you get a good airbag against those shocks, or bumper shock of the car, something like that. So all the risk, because the Yan is a human being, he experienced the world through the mind, the equanimity developed in the mind is still part of the mind. Self-knowledge produce Sahaja Samadhi, which is a mental state. The mental state is still change and fluctuates and is subject to whatever hits it, but it is strong, it's stable, it's enjoy the fruits of self-knowledge, you understand? So that's why Swami never talks in absolute terms when he talks about the equanimity of the Swami, of the Yani. So moksha is not an event in time. Moksha is the recognition of my true nature. And I recognize it through the mind, through the intellect, which inquires into its very nature, its very intrinsic nature. And then this knowledge, once this knowledge is good, it's firm, retained at all times, it grows roots into the unconscious mind, into the causal body, and then it somehow protects the mind of the yani, or develops a certain sense of strength to receive those difficult paravadas, Why the yani is going to have this protection? Can you answer me?
Because he knows ultimately that he's free of all of it.
Yeah, exactly. So he has somehow, such a firm conviction of self-knowledge in regards to the self, his very nature as consciousness, that somehow that knowledge removes or it's not suppress, it really neutralizes desires and fears, you understand? So every human being has desire for security, protection, and favorable paravadas. So when things come otherwise, so it is this knowledge that is going to neutralize whatsoever residuals of ragas and dveshas is still in the unconscious mind of the young. So he may have a reaction, saying, what? Like Swami Paramarthananda often said, what? And then immediately the knowledge, the self-knowledge comes to surface and it's, oh my God, thanks God, I'm not affected by anything of this world. So what? Yeah, what? So what? So because it's ragas and dveshas, they were largely neutralized, and whatsoever residual of those impressions, they don't have the power to affect, the yani to the extent that he loses his self-knowledge. You understand? The self-knowledge comes to the surface to neutralize whatsoever residuals of ignorance, of self-ignorance. Because these human instincts, they come from these profound impressions, that we take maybe from the animal realm that makes us run. You remember that that story of the guru in the forest running because people came and said, "Oh, you guys are meditating here, but there is a herd of elephants which is going to crash all of you." And then this guru was the first one to run very fast. Yeah? What was that? It was one's animal instinct, which is survival and procreation to a certain extent. So the survival, made the guru run and climb the tree and save his physical body. And then the disciples asked, "So how about your self-knowledge? Why did you run from these elephants? They are Mithya." And say, yes, it was my Mithya body running from the Mithya elephant and climbing a Mithya tree, and saving the Mithya physical body. Yeah? So these impressions, they cannot be completely eradicated, but they are neutralized vastly, and this is all there is for self-knowledge. This may be something that turns people away from Vedanta, because they may either think that, oh, it's going to be an experience of ecstasy and bliss 24/7, or they may think like, oh my God, I will never have a human reaction anymore. None of this is true. The Yoni knows, and that knowledge is going to protect him, is going to give him this, how you say, Swami puts it, balance and the strength, mental, emotional, psychological balance to deal with the shocks of life. This is all there is to this. Just 1 second, please. Let me just put it in a pause here. How do I pause here? Remind me to bring it back, please. Okay. So are we clear about what is the palam of self-knowledge? So there's nothing that could be, like those incredible fantasies, because people go to the extreme of faking equanimity, and walk like that and controlling themselves, not to express any human tendency, I mean, in the beginning, I was a little bit like, oh my God, every time that I get irritated and angry with my wife, she says, oh, you see, oh, you see. And then I say, oh my God, there is something wrong. I could never experience this kind of reaction. No, you still experience, but it's largely minimized, you understand? But there are always some human nature that can come, and then one says, oh my God, and then so what? No problem. Okay, I'm none of that. I don't know if you guys remember when I had that fight with my son at the restaurant at the very beginning, before I met Vedanta. I had the fight with my son in the restaurant, and then the guests heard, and the people in the kitchen also, and then it was a shame. And my son ran to the office, and then after some time, I was there in an area of the restaurant between the kitchen, the front of the house, contemplate. I said, well, how strange. And then he came back and he said, what a shame. Are you not ashamed? And then I look at him and say, no, I'm not. And then he looked at me, oh my God, the man has gone totally crazy. And then he was running away to the kitchen. He came back and said, and by the way, you are not enlightened. I like this joke. I'm sorry if I have repeated it several times already. But it illustrates the situation. Are you sure you still want self-knowledge?
Okay. I'm really glad that you're honest about this, Arlindo, because there's so much hyperbole associated with this enlightenment. So for me, it's refreshing that you're so honest about it and say it as it is. So yeah, I still want it. I'm still going for it.
Okay, and what motivates you to go for it?
The equanimity, the peace, the wisdom. For me, it's the whole purpose in life. There is no other purpose in life. I don't see any other purpose other than this.
Yeah. I'm asking this because there are two ways to look at this. One is like, I want this, what motivates me is equanimity or happiness or strength, balance. And the other issue says, I want this because I want to know the truth in respect to the true nature of reality, the true nature of the universe, the true nature of the I that I experience all the time. So a lot of us have this strong desire for the truth, which is not much linked with the bonus, the fruits that come from self-knowledge. And some people want this equanimity. For the people who want the fruits, it's important to know that the fruits is not something like people may imagine,
Yeah, Arlindo, it to me. And I think that knowledge, from my side, the knowledge of Ishwara and the laws of Ishwara, there's some sort of equanimity just in that.
Definitely.
And it seems that equanimity is structured in every little step taken toward right knowledge, and so it's like you're just following that bliss that comes with understanding.
Yeah, and this bliss is often underestimated, which is shanti, it's peace, balance, and yeah, very nicely put. So there was a moment that your voice frozen. I'm going to try to change my provider and we see how it goes, okay? Because it may not be as fast, but it may be more stable without going like this, Okay, we on the other one now. Let me know if it goes better this one. Okay, moksha.
Not better so far.
Huh? Not better so far? No, no? Not better?
It's worst. You have to change back. Now you have to change back.
Okay. Okay, we are back with the other one. So bottom line, moksha is not an event in time. Moksha is not an experience. Moksha is self-recognition, self-realization. I am free and independent, limitless, conscious existence. And we need to bring that into focus. This is my goal, this is my goal, because experience, they show up all through our past. We're going to have this that's going to attract us, and that's going to attract, and then silence is going to attract, bliss is going to attract a certain field of knowledge, field of experience, and we need to keep our ultimate goal in focus, The knower, 25, the knowers of the mind consider the mind to be the reality, and the knowers of the intellect consider the intellect to be the reality. The knowers of knowledge itself, Chittam, consider the Chittam to be reality, and the knowers of Dharma, Chittam, I think it goes for knowledge here. maybe subconscious mind. The knower, the Chitta, and the knowers of Dharma and the Dharma considers that to be reality. Everything is part of this projection, this apparent reality. Yeah. And as I said in the beginning, everyone gets attracted to one or another or several aspects of this apparent reality. And then we bring our interest in there, our mind in there, and then we start attributing more and more value for certain things. Of course, there is a value in Dharma, in knowledge. There is a value to understand the cycle of vasanas, thoughts, words, and the results and actions and results. So all of that, there is a certain value, but if we are totally hooked up, there is a lot of value in being a devotee of Krishna, among many other. Yeah? But if we don't keep the wider picture, the larger picture, and our goal, and then we get caught up in some aspects of the anatima, okay, which serves a certain purpose, which has definitely a spiritual utility, but it's not an end by itself. So it's all about that, attributing more value than what anything in anatima contains, you know? The Buddhists, for example, consider that knowledge is important, and for them, the intellect is the ultimate truth. Some other psychologists consider that the subconscious or the unconscious to be the ultimate reality, and so on. So let's see Swami making a short introduction here. Different groups of people, because of the fundamental ignorance, the ignorance of I, myself, as Turiya, we develop misconceptions and we project and attribute value and reality to different phenomena, different aspects of the anatima. So, and then he says something very beautiful in the following sentence here. There is only one truth to be which is to be missed. So one missed truth, and then infinite misconceptions are going to appear, you know, all from missing the only truth, aham brahmasmi, aham chit asmi. So one truth, aham chaitanyasmi. One truth is missed, and misconceptions are many. The truth of Turiya Atma as myself, the projector, the sustainer, and the experiencer. I'm the projector, the sustainer, and the experience of anything, you know. And I project with the help of the body-mind. So the dream world and the dream body and the awakening world through the awakening body. The bodies themselves are projections. Using the project bodies, I experience the project universe. When this truth is missed, so many anatmas are taken to be Atma, the reality. Until now, various misconceptions with regard to the external world, anatma, were pointed out. So the human mind has the power to project or superimpose value, positive or negative value, to whatsoever we experience in the waking world. The mind, as we know, creates the pratibhasika. We experience the vyavaharika, which is a projection made by Maya Shakti. And then the Jiva Atma has the power to project utility and value according to one's likes and dislikes. And that's easily observed when we see the dream world, which is a projection of one's unfulfilled desires many times, or fears, or not yet manifest fears. So we know that the mind has this power. But the mind has no power to project and sustain the Vyavaharika, as we know. That belongs to Maya Ishwara. But it's important, I make a point here, because I am Turiya, and I, Turiya, I project the Jiva Atma, I project the Ishwara, Jiva Atma, and Jagata, the world. So all of these are my projection as Atma, as Turiya, as consciousness. I am this Turiya. I project, I sustain, and through my Jiva Atma, I experience my projection. And then there is another projection, which is a projection that made possible with the help of my bodies, So I, Atma, I have a physical body and I have a dream body. And through these two bodies, I somehow project. But this projection is not the projection of the world, the Vyavaharika. Is a projection of value, the projection of reality, two things that's fundamentally are just inert matter. So we don't project the elements. We don't project the matter, the fundamental matter of the universe, okay? So the gunas and so on, we project value to all these configurations put together by Maya Ishwara with the help of our desires and fears, of course. So I do that through the bodies. The bodies themselves are projections. So if the body is projection, and then I have to make a point that see my body is projection. So I, the body-mind, project value. I project even the dream world in the night. But I cannot project my physical body, and I cannot project my dream body. Some other power does so. That makes available to me all these bodies to experience all these different realms in different states. So that's the point I want to make. The bodies are projections, and they are projected by my Ishwara, and then I consciousness, or are projected by I Atma, because my Ishwara cannot do anything without the bless of Atma. So using the project buyers bodies, I experience this universe. Many people say that the world is only a projection. Who is the projector? Instead of saying, I, the Atma, am the projector, they say that the mind is the projector of everything. I think you all heard about this notion. The one thing is to say that everything is being experienced in the mind and the mind alone, okay? And another thing is to say the mind has created the physical material world. There is a notion in between these two statements. Anything is being experienced in consciousness, but with the aids of the mind, which is not apart from universal consciousness. It's being there, but the human mind, the human consciousness, the mind itself does not project the physical world, okay? So who is the projector of the physical material world? We know it's Maya with its Maya Shakti. The Buddhism commit the same mistake of taking the mind to be the projector. Why? Because we do that in the dream state, and then we say, oh, if I do that in the dream state, I project the dreamer and the dream world, and then most probably my mind is doing that in the awakening state. I'm projecting this entity, the awaker, and I project the awakening world. But no. So the mind does that in the dream world, because the dream world is just recycle or impressions, memories, subtle memories of our interaction with the Vyavaharika. And then the mind somehow, when it's filled with too many impressions, and then it's somehow it releases those impressions so that we can make room for more processing of karma during the waking state. Otherwise, in the dream state, in the waking state, we may explode for anything because we are full, but we are full of impressions, that needs to make room for experience to be processed in a proper manner. Within the mind itself, there are three components. Different people give importance to different components of the mind. So what are these three aspects of the mind? One is the emotional aspect of the mind. Some people love emotions, and the people who are totally crazed for emotion, they are totally fascinated by love for God, devotion to God, they are not attracted to Vedanta. They like only religion in which the love of the Lord is so important, Not only is important, it's going to make them feel good about themselves, but it's juicy because love is a juicy thing, oh my God, I feel my heart and tears, and it's so beautiful, So some people get caught up with devotion, and they take devotion to be the ultimate reality. Nothing wrong with devotion to Ishvara. It's highly recommended as a good karma yoga that we convert our human emotions based on likes and dislikes into devotion and gratitude towards Ishvara. So they have this different aspect, the mind, and they love to love the Lord. They even pray to the Lord not to take them to Vedanta. How nice, huh? Lord, I love you so much. I get so much from this relationship with you. Please, never allow my mind to be attracted to the Upanishads. And then Swami puts a word in the end of the sentence, say, but the Lord will bring them to Vedanta sooner or later, Why? Because that devotion to God is going to purify and refine the mind, so that the mind is going to become more and more subtle, and will understand that the true Lord is the very self of all beings, the very self of Ishvara as well. So the rational people, the intellectuals, they like to see everything logically. And they consider the intellect the ultimate reality. And another group considers Chittam, the subconscious or the unconscious, to be reality. They say that everything is governed by karma or vasanas. They are vasana pradhana people. They are people fixate with vasana. Everything is explained by vasana. Even dream is analyzed from vasana standpoint. And analyzing vasana, they come to the true nature. They believe to arrive at the true nature of the individual, okay? But it's not possible because they are still looking for the individual within the Atma. So everything that we can analyze, any intellectual concept is still an object. It's a conceptual object in regards to vasanas. We can understand vasanas by inference, of course, because vasanas belongs to the subtle body, the causal body, which is the unconscious mind. And we need to analyze it by its effect. The effect is what appears in the conscious mind. And then we can infer the content of my unconscious mind. So, but still, no matter how subtle it may be my field of investigation, is still an Atma. Why? Because anything and everything is happening within consciousness. Okay, so nothing escapes consciousness. So you can be fascinated by the causal body. You can be fascinated by the void or Nandamaya Purusha. Yeah? But still, who is the self saying that this is the ultimate truth? Okay, and Nandamaya Kosha is the ultimate truth. The knowledge of the causal body and its contents is the ultimate truth. No, the ultimate truth is the light of consciousness illumining and revealing all these fields of knowledge. Huh? They say that 90% of one's mind is unconscious. Therefore, the knowledge of the unconscious mind is the ultimate knowledge, because if I have knowledge of my conscious mind, is only the tip of the iceberg. So let's go and dig into the unconscious mind. But no, you are missing the point. Some other people who are Mimashakas say that things do not depend on your mind, intellection, but depend on the Punya Papa, the karma, the laws of karma. Just imagine, now you are fascinated with the law of karma, the law of cause and effect, and you are caught up where? In Mithya. That's the most fundamental law of Mithya, is causality, okay? But it's all Mithya. It's all Mithya cause, Mithya effect, because, it's just a mirage, all of that. So as long as we are caught up into the mirage, trying to find reality, we'll never get to reality, because we are searching for reality in the wrong place. We may get involved with anathema only as a means to purify and refine our intellect, so that we can direct it to the Atma, the light of consciousness shining at all times in the human intellect, allowing the intellect to know things and ultimate to know its true nature. Verse 26, some say that reality consists of 25 categories, others say 26, and blah, 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 blah. Others say that it consists of countless categories, so it is not much relevant. Different philosophies, they just categorize the world. Just imagine the work of these dry intellectuals going to analyze philosophically the manifestation and putting by category these and these and these aspects of the universe. So, so they reduce the entire world into these principles, also known as tattvas, and then they say that these tattvas are the ultimate reality, because they broke down the universe to its tattvas. But there are some systems that say, oh, but by the way, there are infinite numbers of tattvas. And then, and then the guy says, oh my God, I thought I had done such a great work to read 31 tattvas. Now I hear that there are numberless tattvas. Yeah? So all futile effort. Verse 27, the knowers of the people declare the pleasure of the people to be reality. So people who really got caught up in relationships, believing that the other is going to really be the source of happiness in their lives. So these attributes incredible value to a personal relationship. And then there are the knowers of the different stage now, which is the ashramas. Yeah? They know so much about the ashramas. They are so fixated, and these ashrama, my duties, these and these and these. So any structure of knowledge, notions, may be a hook, you understand? So the knowers of these different stages of life get caught up as well. The knowers of genders consider to be reality. So there are all kinds of fixations. And then it says, in others consider the higher and the lower Brahman to be the reality. I don't know what that means, the higher and the lower Brahman. Let's see what Swami suggests with this last phrase. Some people, they fixate with the ashramas, or other with grammar and words, and they make their life just about that, understanding words and how to make sentence, you know. They are obsessed with grammar rules and genders, and they obsessed with words, and they become the reality to them. They waste their life around those objects, you know, a fixation. There are some people who consider that Parabrahma and the Parabrahma together to be the ultimate reality, okay? So there is Ishvara 1, Ishvara 2, Nirguna Brahman and Saguna Brahman. This is the ultimate reality, and they are together. You know, you cannot make apart Saguna Brahman from Nirguna Brahman. Saguna Nirguna Atma Brahman is the ultimate truth for these people. For Vedanta, Nirguna Brahman is the only ultimate truth, period. Saguna Brahman is just a device. It's just a tool, an instrument, okay, which helps us to make sense of our human experience, and by conforming our thoughts, emotions, and behavior to the rules and principles of this apparent reality, we somehow refine the mind to understand Nirguna Brahman as our very nature, our very self. Saguna Brahman includes Maya. Now, Saguna Brahman, this is a hard one for people to accept. Saguna Brahman is the first product of Maya. Maya produces pure knowledge, pure intelligence, pure sattva guna. The Prakriti of Maya is composed by the three fundamental energies. And the first one is Ishvara, is pure sattva guna. So Ishvara is a byproduct of Maya. So Saguna Brahman includes Maya in it, okay? And so Saguna Brahman cannot be the ultimate truth. It is a conditional, relative truth, and absolutely important. You see the danger of this text, because it can not only make people confused, but may make people say like, oh my God, I have to abandon my past as a good karma yoga. I have that happen to a student of mine here in Brazil, who start, you know, tripping a little bit. Oh no, I have to drop this thing of love to Ishvara, this and that, because I am Brahman. Otherwise, I'm never going to get moksha and this and that. And then people say, oh yes, now you got it, now you got it, now you got it. And I know where she stands, you know. So I had to tell a few things to her privately. And then later on, she thanked me, okay, because the mind, the ego is trick. And he many times does not understand the importance of this relationship between the apparent Jiva Atma and the apparent Ishvara, you know. They say, no, I don't want to deal with anything which is not the ultimate truth. But you are not prepared to understand the ultimate truth. Your mind needs to refine, purify, and you do that by understanding your relationship, the relationship between the apparent Jiva and the apparent Ishvara. It's just a device. It's just an instrument. You understand? It's just a teaching. Huh? And then we can enjoy that play. We can enjoy, because in Mithya, we have experience, only Mithya and experience, they are of all kinds, you know, and I either now learned that Ishvara is the true Pala karma pala data, that which delivers the results, the parabata to all of us by its principles and laws, which are all within the mithya, the apparent reality. Once I understand that, I will take this principle called Ishwara into account and integrate God into my life and conform my life and my thoughts and my behavior with the principles and laws of the creator, the apparent creator, and then I develop the purification and refinement, which is indispensable to understand my true nature, the absolute nature of Nirguna Brahman. For us, Vedantins, Upanishadics, Nirguna Brahman is the only ultimate reality. 28. The knowers of the creation consider the creation to be reality, and the knowers of the dissolution consider dissolution to be the reality. The knowers of the sustenance consider the sustenance to be reality. All these are ever projects on this Atma. So one of the fascinations of people with a spiritual inclination is to understand the nature of creation and the origination of the creation and how this creation took place. Although it's not something that we can know with our human intellect. And the scriptures of the Upanishads do not tap into that because it's not really relevant. Nobody knows the motivations. And furthermore, in the beginning, nobody wants to be told that there is no creation. It may be such a shock that a person may say, okay, and then forget about Vedas and Vedanta, because this is a radical, shocking statement. No? So, but we have to deal with this concept that there is a principle called Brahman that projects the universe, and then there are another principle that sustains, Vishwa, and then Shiva, the ones who does the dissolution. So, and then they get fixated in these three concepts, conceptual entities, and that's good for as long as they are not stuck eternally with that. And these all these three entities and all these concepts together with all concepts of this universe just project in I, myself, the Atma, the self, Brahman. This is just a this is just a superimposition, apparently superimposition on consciousness. In the same way we have objects project on the screen or reflect on a mirror, okay? So the mirror or the screen is the only reality. And I am consciousness, all of this is superimposed on me, but it's just a mirage, okay? It's not real. There are some people who are obsessed with the origination of the universe, Shristi, some with the sustenance, and some with the dissolution, Laya. Every object is associated with all these three at all times. So there are objects, they are all associated with the creation of the universe, origination, and their sustenance, and then life is a series of all of these three objects or experience. None of this can be the ultimate truth. In the momentary, fleeting, appearing, disappearing universe, none of these there can be the truth. For the simple, obvious logic, anything that appears due to I, the light of consciousness, the only reality. Gaudapada says, in short, that every one of these groups has misconceptions of the truth, and many others misconceptions, different groups. The common mistake is that something or the other is the truth. But people never imagine that I am the truth. So I am the truth is a statement that it can be faked until it becomes a fact. You understand? And that's all right. For as long as one does not go around telling one's friends and relatives, I am the truth, I am the truth. All our colleagues, Vedantins colleagues, okay? Oh no, I am the truth, I am the truth. No, we keep it for ourselves. Huh? Even if the beginning it feels a little strange because I'm not very clear about what this I refer to. I heard it's for consciousness, but it's still I couldn't yet identify this extremely subtle aspect of the I to the point that I can confidently say I am the only truth as Satchitananda. You understand? So, but we need to somehow hold that notion until it becomes a fact. Gaudapada says that any different people are going to have different misconceptions. Everyone analyzes everything in the world, but never analyze the analyzer. Everybody analyzes any knowledge gained in Mithya, but they never analyze the nature of the knower. The knower can never be known. The analyzer can never be analyzed because the analyzer has to become an object, would have to become an object to be analyzed. The knower would have to become an object to be known, but yet self-knowledge is possible, is the purpose, the final purpose of so many incarnations. It is available, but it's gained not as an object of knowledge as we know. So I know I am Brahman as Brahman. I know Brahman. Yeah, I know Brahman because I am Brahman. I never know Brahman as something other than myself. The subject, the Brahman is the ultimate subject, never possibly reduced to an object. No? And then in Maitreya, in Yanavalkya to Maitreya, in Bharadanyaka, Upanishad says, nobody thinks of ask how will you observe the observer and with what instrument. Nobody thinks of asking the question, who am I? Because this question is not asked. One anathema or the other is taken as reality. So we keep taking anathema, different fields of knowledge and experience as the atma. I never go to the bottom of this inquiry, who am I in the light of the revelations of the Upanishads? How I will observe the observer? No, you cannot objectify the true nature of the observer. You can understand, and once this understanding goes beyond the first level of intellectual understanding, and then it becomes a fact, no longer knowledge, but a fact, not subject to forgetfulness. People in the spiritual world are all the time running after anathema. And that is the glory of Maya. That is the power, the deceiving power of Maya. He puts as a glory. It feels like almost like cruel, So everybody's looking for happiness in the anathema projection. And this is the amazing deceiving power of Maya. But there is a silver lining. All this, Gaudapada says that all are not lost. And there is hope for a few of us. And this is described in the next important verse. One sees that thing as reality, which thing a teacher shows him. Having become one with him, it protects him. Firm conviction is that possess him. Wow, this is rich. This is beautiful. I'm gonna leave for next Monday because I need to leave soon, and I have to get prepped to leave. But this verse 29, it promises great fun. Anything from you?
A lot in this teaching. There's a lot of in this.
Your voice is cutting to
Here.
me. I'm gonna go there to complain to my provider of internet, among other things. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishate. Om Shanti 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 Om. Namaste. So we meet again this coming Monday.
Thanks, Orlando.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Okay, thank you, Arlinda.
Thank you, Mark.